Hello, everyone, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and welcome to the review of the biographical film Michael, which is directed by Antoine Fuqua. This is the story of Michael Jackson, at least a portion of his life. In the film, Michael Jackson is portrayed by his nephew, Jafar Jackson, who is the son of Jermaine. And in the film, it follows the life of Michael Jackson, and it covers the involvement with the Jackson 5 through the 60s, and we go into the 80s during his Bad tour. Also in this film, you have Nia Long, Miles Teller, Mike Myers pops up in this movie, and Carmen Domingo playing Joe Jackson in this movie. I mean, come on. Everybody's a Michael Jackson fan. I don't care. Black, white, male, female, adult, child, Christian, atheist, monkey. Everybody is a Michael Jackson fan. Young, old. We all enjoy Michael Jackson, going back to the Jackson 5, all the way up to his untimely passing. And, you know, watching him in concert, and I'm talking real Michael Jackson, watching him in concert and witnessing grown men burst into tears, and not from the performance. It was a concert that I think HBO did, and this was like in the 90s. And it was a special. It could have been bad. No, well, I don't remember. But either way, the start of the concert, Michael Jackson, he pops up from underneath the stage, and he's just standing there like a statue. And he stood there for a good 5 minutes. It could have been longer. It could have been shorter, but it felt like 30. But he stood perfectly still. No music. No singing, no dancing, just still. And the crowd was going insane. It was somewhere overseas where he was performing this. I want to say London, England, or something like that. And grown men were just crying at a statue. You know, he wasn't doing anything. He was just standing there. In the mere sight of him invoked this reaction. And then, hey, he went into his full Michael Jackson performance after that, of course. And then there's, of course, the famed, I think, 25-year Motown anniversary show, or whatever it was. It was the Motown show when he broke out the moonwalk for the first time on live television. In that performance, epic. You know, he is pop culture. He is a vast majority of the population on planet Earth's childhood. It was a moment, man. It was a time to be alive when Michael Jackson was at his peak. And he always was at his peak. Michael Jackson, even till his passing, was Michael. You just knew him as Michael, which this movie being named Michael was perfect because you didn't need his last name. We knew it wasn't Michael Jordan. We knew it wasn't about Mike Tyson. We know it's about Michael Jackson because he is one of the most iconic pop culture, pop music, R&B music icons of all time. I say all that to say this. This movie had none of that aura. This movie was not good. And it's sad to see this because, you know, when you have such a powerful figure like Michael Jackson, you would think you would get a quality film. I mean, Elton John, Rocket Man was awesome. I liked that movie. Was it great? No, it wasn't great, but I actually enjoyed Rocket Man. I enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody, even though it was flawed, just like Rocket Man was flawed. All bioflicks are flawed because you're not going to get an uncut, realistic depiction of that person, especially if they're alive, and especially if they have a fan base that exceeds over 5 people. You know, you don't want to anger the fan base. And now I knew going into this, we weren't going to get dirty with Michael Jackson. We weren't going to explore the sexual abuse allegations that took place in the latter half of his life. I knew that because the family was involved in this. The Jacksons were involved with the production of this movie, and of course, they're not going to do anything to sully his name. And honestly, I'm fine with that. We didn't have to show all that. We all know that. We know everything about Michael Jackson's life, which is another reason why this movie did absolutely nothing for me. This movie didn't take one risk when it concerned Michael Jackson's life. We knew everything about this movie. This movie did not show us something that we didn't know. You know, like, oh, Michael Jackson used to do this, and nobody knew. Oh, he was into just sitting at home watching He-Man. Oh, that's what he did. It didn't show that. It didn't do anything extra. This was a glorified concert film. It was, we'll have a scene. It would show Michael Jackson buying bubbles. Then we jump to him making the album, and then jump to him performing the song off that album at a concert. Then we'll get another scene. It's something that's going on. Oh, he's signing his deal with the record label, with the management team, whatever. He goes in the studio, makes an album. Then we cut to the concert of him performing the song. It was so messy looking. It was glorified Lifetime movie of the week level movie. Coming into the film, I was already skeptical when I saw the trailer. And when I saw the trailer and I saw the makeup on all these actors, not just Jafar, but on all these actors, in particular, Carmen Domingo, that makeup was so bad. It was so bad. I understand they tried to make him look like Joe Jackson, which they didn't do. They didn't even get close. If they would have got close and it looked bad, all right, fine. At least you tried. I can say, well, they gave it their old college try. It didn't even look. It looked like Carmen Domingo with a bad makeup on. I don't understand where the money went in this movie. They couldn't have been skimming on the budget here. I mean, this is Michael Jackson. It made no sense, and it looked even worse when the movie was actually in motion. Now, I thought it was going to look bad throughout the whole film. I will give it credit. As the movie went along, the makeup got better, or at least I didn't notice, or I just grew accustomed to it. I just let it go. I stopped worrying about it. Either way it went, it was bad. The makeup on Jafar Jackson was bad. It was just bad, and I'm not even talking about the album. It was bad. But the movie wasn't all bad. You did have some good qualities here. Going back to Carmen Domingo, even though the makeup was shoddy, his performance was great. He managed to give a good, borderline awesome performance as Joe Jackson through that makeup. I guess that's why the makeup kind of dissipated while I watched the film, because his performance was making you draw your attention away from it. Because, man, he really, really dove into this role. And this is one of the best Carmen Domingo performances I've seen. He really embraced the role of Joe Jackson. Unlike his counterpart, Nia Long, who plays the mom, Catherine Jackson, don't know why she was in the movie. I have no idea. She had nothing to do. And Nia Long can act, but they gave her nothing. Nothing to work with. Absolutely nothing. Uh, the big question mark going into this was Jafar. How would he handle the role of Michael Jackson, his uncle? If anybody should know about him, it should be him. Well, I will say this: not bad. It wasn't a bad performance. Now, did I 100% like it? Not really, because I don't think Michael Jackson acted like that. It was moments in here that made me question. Now they would know better than I know. That's his uncle, and so should know how his uncle performed or how he acted in real life behind the scenes, because I've heard stories if that Michael Jackson wasn't like that childish soft voice, that soprano voice that he performed with and did interviews with. I've read interviews, I've watched interviews of people who were very close to Michael Jackson. Now, he was guarded with his private life. He didn't really, reveal it to a lot of people. His circle was pretty small, but to the people that were privy to witness him just letting loose, Michael Jackson had a baritone voice. He had a deep voice. He'll talk like me and you, it just shooting it. And I believe that to be true. The reason I believe that, I saw multiple interviews from different people who don't travel in the same circles, so they have no reason to lie and say the same story. That Michael didn't talk like that for real. And so that part kind of disturbed me. Now, this is somebody who watched documentaries about Michael Jackson, who followed Michael Jackson my entire life. I had no choice. He was everywhere. So I was really into Michael Jackson, and I told the story before a million times. Now this is going to make it 1,000,001. That the reason I really followed Michael Jackson so closely is because his family, the Jacksons from Gary, Indiana, is a part of my family. On my mother's side, the Bakers, who are from Gary, Indiana, we cousins, distant cousins. We ain't go to cookouts and stuff, but we were distant cousins. He couldn't pick me out of a lineup. Janet Jackson walked past me right now and just scoff. Because we're not family, but there is a lineage there. And so I always followed them, because I always had this dream, like one day he's going to search for his long lost cousin and he finds me. But unfortunately, that didn't work out that way. But in any event, I said all the stuff that I said because I already knew. And I know there's a lot of people who didn't, they didn't follow that closely. And you may go to this movie and feel that you learned something new. And I envy you, that's great. But the movie did nothing, man. It was a pointless movie. I knew it 10 minutes in. This movie is going nowhere. It was going nowhere. I knew that this was mainly going to be a concert movie. No more, no less. And the little story that we did get in here was so sanitized. It was so sanitized. It was zero controversy in this movie. Nothing, no drama in this movie. And I think the most hurtful thing, it's not even offensive to the Michael Jackson fan in me. That's not the part that I'm bothered by, because I expected that. The part that bothers me is Antoine Fuqua. The fact that he directed this movie. Antoine Fuqua has given us such films as The Replacement Killers, Tears of the Sun, most recently Emancipation with Will Smith. But his crowning achievement that everybody knows, the film that he put out there, was a little film he directed with Denzel Washington starring. Uh, Led him to an Academy Award win. In Training Day. The man can direct. The man knows how to direct a movie. This was a dumpster fire, man. I don't know. I don't. There's rumors that he didn't really direct this film. The film that he wanted to direct, they cut it, changed it. He walked away from the movie. He walked away, and that's why the movie was pushed back. The film was supposed to come out last year, if you all remember, in I think in around Thanksgiving or something like that, or October, somewhere in that vicinity, fall of last year. But they pushed it back because they wanted to do reshoots from the ending that Antoine Fuqua made, and it went into the child sexual abuse stuff and all that there, the legal side of his life. But the family got involved. And that was the end of that. They changed everything. He walked away. Someone else finished the film. Now you may see him walking around promoting the film, but the studio paid him to do that. So he had to obligate and promote the film, and his name is attached to it. But it's you can clearly see that this film wanted to go in a different direction, and it did. It just stayed planted in the, oh, Michael was an angel level of film. And hey, for me, that is completely boring. The movie bored me to death. Now, was it poorly choreographed and made, like, in that sense? Not in the sense of the concert footage and the performances and from a couple of the actors here. Other than that, it wasn't all that, bro. This could have went straight to Disney Plus or something, straight to Hulu, straight to Netflix. It did not need to be released in theaters. Not this version of the movie. It should have went straight to HBO. Now, if you wanted to make the grittier version that Antoine Fuqua first intended it to be, oh yeah, I'm all in on that. I want to see how Michael navigated through that. Now, that's the portion of his life I don't know, and millions don't know. That's the movie we want to see. Not this. Michael, which is currently in theaters, which depicts the life or a portion of the life of the great Michael Jackson, gets a letter grade of a C-. Yeah, I it would have been an F, but the reason I'm giving it a C- is Jafar Jackson did a really decent job as his uncle. Carmen Domingo did a really good job as Joe Jackson. The concert sequences are great, but ultimately this is a dramatic film with zero drama. I want to know. I want to know, is it just me? Did you enjoy Michael, or am I just set tripping? I would love to know. I mean, film is subjective. Maybe I missed something. Maybe it went over my head. Please enlighten me. I want to like it. Maybe you can change my views. You can email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also comment on social media. Just look for the KB Radio Network on all social media platforms. Don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and don't forget about Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Like, share there as well. Oh man, everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of Michael. I was hoping for better. I kind of knew this was coming, but I was just holding on to hope. Unfortunately, hope didn't come around, didn't turn the corner for me, but it's all good. In the meantime, I want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.